Hello, welcome back to the Witness Library for another Tween Time craft. I'm Miss Lori, and today we are going to do a 3D picture of our hands. Super simple, just takes a little while. So if you've got some time on your hands and you'd like to make something crafty and cool, let's get started. You're going to need a blank piece of paper, easy peasy. Take one out of your printer, copier at home if you have one, a pencil or a pen, a ruler, and you don't necessarily need a ruler, but I'm a little bit fussy about how I want my things to turn out. So I'm going to use a ruler. I did use a ruler on this one. You can see that the lines are straighter than if I tried to just draw it. This is optional as well. Sharpie, something dark that you might want to go over your lines just to make it a little more vivid. These are colored pencils. For this one I used markers. You could use crayons, whatever you have available to you at home, and a hand. So let's get started. I'm a lefty, so I am going to draw my right hand and spread your fingers so that you can get a really nice looking hand on your paper, and simply just outline your hand like you used to do in kindergarten or preschool when you made your turkey cards for your mom for a Thanksgiving card or for grandma and grandpa. So just outline your hand here, easy peasy. So that part is done, right? I've outlined my hand. You can see, it doesn't have to be super dark. As a matter of fact, it's probably better if it's not dark. And then the next part is what takes quite a while, especially if you're going to use a ruler. So what you do then is you choose the amount of space you would like between your lines. I, on this one, used a very small amount and it took a long time. So I think for this one, I'll use, I don't know, I was thinking a 1/4 inch. At any point, I'm going to start lining my paper. And what you do is you make your lines, here, let's start. I'm gonna show you. Make your lines, but don't cross into where your hand was. So you're going to be making your lines on the outside of what you drew. So let's just say I'm going to start here, I'm going to draw and stop, and then pick up that line again. Now that is a very crooked line, but I wanted you to, I'll fix it. But what I wanted you to see is that you don't draw the line into your hand. So you just continue making lines all the way up your paper at whatever space distance you would like, not drawing the line within your hand. So you're just going to line, 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 but do not draw a line within the solid part of your hand. I will come back after I have completed all my lines, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay. What I'd like for you to see is what I did to help create my lines. So when I first showed you what to do, I had just made the bottom line. And then I decided what would be easiest would be to create the dots along both sides of my paper that are the exact measurement of space between each line. So it would make it easier if you want to have straight lines and you want them to be equidistant, then you would just, for instance, let me show you what I did. I took my ruler with the inch side, put it on my paper, and for every, it's not a 1/4 of an inch, it's like for every long line, I guess, I simply lined it up as straight as I could and then just put a dot at each one of those places all along the right margin, and then I did the same all along the left margin, so that when I want to make my lines, I know that it's straight when I line up the dots on my ruler. So for instance, I'm going to line it up at the dot on this side and the dot on this side. And when I draw my line, remember you're not drawing into your hand. So you draw a line, I'm stopping at the pinky, then in between the pinky and my ring finger and middle finger and pointer, and then I finish up. And then I just slide my ruler up, do the same, stop every time I get to my hand, or to my fingers now, and then in between those spaces, I draw a line. So it looks like that. All the way up. So I'm getting there, but you want to make sure that you don't go into your hand. I just wanted to take that a little bit extra time to show you how I did my measuring so that the lines would be straight. If you don't care if your lines are straight or you're really good at making straight lines, then just go at it and just make your lines all the way down however you would like to do it. I just think that the 3D will pop more if you have straighter lines. We'll see. So I'm gonna finish up here and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have finished making all of my lines on the paper. That was probably, outside of coloring, that was the thing that was gonna take the longest. Probably the easiest, but takes the longest. So you can see I have all the lines on my paper outlining my hand. Okay? Super simple, super easy. Now comes the hard part. And I struggle at this. So we're gonna give this a shot. So now you have lines all the way up your paper. What you want to do in order to make it look 3D is that from the edge of your hand, your arm or your hand, so the white part of your paper, you want to take from line to line, draw an arched line within your hand. So you can see where I did it on this one. So each line that you drew, you're going to connect with a very small arch. And again, I like things to be, try to be perfect. I know that they can't be, but I'm gonna try my best to make it that way. So I'm going to start and then we'll come back because again, this can take some time, and between each finger on your paper, you also need to make an arch. So from line to line here, line to line all the way, line to line on your thumb, and line to line on each finger, you need to make that arch connecting the lines that you just drew to the other line. I hope that makes sense. I will, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna stop the video about halfway through. I'll show you where I am. And I think it makes it a little easier too for when you're doing it, that you can see, am I doing it right, or am I doing it wrong? As opposed to me just saying, this is how you do it, and then show you the end product. I can show you maybe where I had a little accident and screwed up, or maybe I'm gonna do pretty good on this one. So while it's easy, this is the part that I think we can make our mistakes. That's why using a pencil, you can erase it and start again. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've finished all my curved lines. Not easy. I told you it's not going to be easy. You'll see on my thumb area that that's about the area where it gets kind of wonky. You do you, but stay true to the lines, because if you skip a line, you're not going to be able to make a nice curve once you get up to your fingers. So don't skip a line, but you'll see here. So I have completed the pencil part. See how kind of weird my thumb area looks? We'll see what happens when we color. So now you get to color, and that's fun. Turn on music, turn on your favorite TV show, and just get to coloring. I haven't decided what colors I'm going to use yet, but again, I'm using the colored pencils, and I'll try and go with something that's a good contrast so we can see if the 3D actually works. So I'm going to get to coloring. About halfway through the coloring, I'll come back and show you where I'm at. Once we're done with the coloring, the suggestion is to use a Sharpie or something dark to then follow your lines so that you can't really see the outline of your hand. And that's what makes it pop in 3D. So I'm going to get to coloring and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm about halfway done with my coloring. I chose 2 different blues and a yellow, and it's coming along. You will find, or maybe you'll find, a few little errors. It's not going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. So what I'm going to do now is continue coloring. I'll finish the coloring, I'll come back, and then that's when I'm going to take my marker and go over all the lines to make it pop in 3D. And then we'll be done. Okay, I'm back. I have completed my coloring. So you'll see I've gone all the way top to bottom. And now the last thing to do is take your Sharpie and just draw over the lines that you originally did. So you can use the ruler again if you would like, but you don't have to. So I'm going to do that. You can see all the way up the paper. Hello, I'm back and I'm done. So I have now completed 2 of them. This one I showed you at the beginning. This one I had done maybe 6 months or so ago when I was trying to figure out if this might be a good craft for us to do. And definitely looks 3D, I kind of like it. And then this is the completed project that we've been working on today. Nice colors, definitely 3D, and a lot of fun to do. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see you in the library soon. Have a good day.